Ange, Rob and Robbo.
Streaming live across the globe, Anjali Rao, Rob McKnight, and David Robinson.
Ange, Rob and Robbo. News and views, entertainment too. It's the Ange, Rob and Robbo. Ange, Rob and Robbo Show.
Welcome to the Ange, Rob and Robbo Show.
It's Tuesday. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ange, Rob and Robbo Show. Anjali Rao and David Robinson are with us. It's a full team. Hello, guys. How are we? Ange.
Fantastic, thank you.
Robbo, a bit of a surprise tonight. You know, every night I'm trying to play this who gets on social media first. Well, this is a case of, Mum, I told you not to call me at work because Lynn McKnight is the very first person.
Oh, hello, Mrs. M. Oh, lovely to hear from you. Good evening to you.
Oh, yes, Mum. Not embarrassing at all. No, I love you. Good on you. It's a family affair because our producer Abby is away and my daughter Jasmine has stepped into the fold and she's doing our social media feedback tonight. Welcome, Jasmine, to the show. Who said child labour doesn't exist in this country? All right, there's a lot coming up tonight. We will be getting the very latest in entertainment, plus all the news, and we'll be meeting an Elvis and Beatles impersonator before we meet the Australian who is playing a young Chris Rock. Not Chris Rock, The Rock. Dwayne Johnson. The Rock.
Different people.
Do you know why I made that mistake? Because the show that he's talking about is Young Rock. And it reminds me so much, if you ever saw a show called Everybody Hates Chris, that was based on the
Love it.
Chris
Love
Ross.
it, love it. So good.
Great show. Amanda and I always say to each other, that's 57 cents worth of peas, you know.
Oh, no, what's the one that I love when his mother was like, I will kick you in the ass so hard you're going to have toes for teeth.
It was a very, very good show. Well, this new show, Young Rock, which is on Binge and Foxtel, is actually hilarious. I've seen the first 2 episodes to do this interview tonight, and I've really got to say, I fell in love with it. It's just... doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's full of heart, it's funny. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little later, but first of all, let's get into our news headlines because there is a lot to discuss. And Australia's hard border ban with India has caused more headaches for the federal government, with cricketer Michael Slater posting a brutal attack on Twitter. The cricket great's post says, if our government cared for the safety of Aussies, they would allow us to get home. It's a disgrace. Blood on your hands, PM. How dare you treat us like this? How about you sort out our quarantine system? I had government permission to work on the IPL, but I now have government neglect. Slater made the point that by leaving early, he forfeited his payment and he didn't make a penny. But the Prime Minister, well, he was having none of it. This is what he had to say on the Today Show this morning when asked by Carl Stefanovic if he did indeed have blood on his hands.
No, it's obviously absurd. And what we're doing here is we've got a temporary pause in place because we've seen a rapid escalation in the infection rate of people who have travelled out of India. That is putting enormous pressure on our system.
So, Ange, does Slater have a point or is he being self-centred?
Oh, seriously. Do the words temporary ban or perhaps suck it up, buttercup not mean anything to this guy? I mean, does he also not remember that we shut the borders between our very own states, let alone other countries, which is, a huge reason for how we got COVID under control in the timely manner, respectively, that we did. And, Slater ran away from India to tough it out in the Maldives, which also incidentally banned flights from India back in April, which, just by him fleeing like that is an admission that he knows full well that the situation is very real and very serious. Why should we risk inviting it back onto our shores in this new, especially virulent strain as well, it just completely flummoxes me, because it's the millions of Indians who are enduring appalling hardship that they cannot escape from, in a rapidly collapsing health system. They're the ones who have my sympathy, not these whinging cricketers who are being paid vast sums of money and protected in a bubble. They were not forced to travel overseas to what everybody knows is a high-risk location in the middle of a pandemic. They did it for the cash, which of course is absolutely fine, but don't then expect the government to swoop in and save you when it all goes tits up.
Ding, 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 ding. 10 points to Ange. Michael Slater,
Yay!
Get off it. You are the disgrace here. How dare you accuse the PM of this country of having blood on his hands because you went over during COVID to play cricket, and then when it all got too hard, you say, well, I forfeited my money. I'd love to be able to forfeit my money, mate. Get over yourself. Get a real job. Like, seriously, you've made a fortune off cricket. You've gone to India for the big paycheck because we all know they love their cricket over there and there's a lot of money to be made. Good luck to your son. But don't come whinging when it all goes to crap. You are a disgrace to this country. How dare you? How dare you call our Prime Minister and say that he has blood on his hands when he is doing one of the hardest jobs in the country, trying to make sure Australians are safe. Michael Slater, you are the disgrace. Robbo.
What I think is a disgrace is that we've got Australian citizens that are over in India that are there for whatever reason. They went there for reasons we don't know, and our responsibility is always to look after other Australians. I think that the PM has got blood on his hands here. We've had over a year to perfect hotel quarantine, to perfect areas outside. The Queensland Premier, Anastasia Palaszczuk, has repeatedly said to the federal government that there are sites in Queensland that could be used very quickly, that they could be upgraded and renovated to be a quarantine facility. This is coming from the man, Scott Morrison, who hated border closures when they happened in Australia. He was very against them, but all of a sudden, when it suits, when it's a diversion, he's all ready to do it. It's the same as Howard with Tampa and things like that. This is politics through and through. Rob, you say you hate politics. I don't care what
your politics are here, Robbo.
That's what they're playing. It doesn't matter what you care about. Scott Morrison is playing politics here. The other thing is, but why we just put that to one side, he's also come out and said, oh, well, no, we were never really going to fine people and we were never really going to jail them. So why'd you put it in a press release? Why was it at the bottom of a press release? Why don't you come out thumping your chest? I'll tell you why. Because it didn't get the reaction that it wanted. It didn't get the reaction. No, I don't agree with you. There are Australians overseas that we should get them back. I want to know that if I'm somewhere overseas and something goes to shit, that the government that I pay for, that I vote for, is going to do something to get me home. That's what I expect.
It's 10 more days. It's 10 more days.
Exactly.
That's it.
I just don't.
And Morrison,
I just don't
he would
agree.
have blood on his hands. He would have blood on his hands, absolutely, if he did the opposite of what he's doing and let travellers from India back in. There are no easy choices here. Not at all. They're all crap choices. But he went with the best of the bad bunch.
I'm not talking about travellers. I'm talking about Australian citizens.
I'm talking about Australians. I mean Australian citizens who travelled to India and now want to be let back in. There's 10 more days.
I just don't agree with it. And if he had taken this more seriously, if the federal government had acted earlier, we would have all of these sites that the premiers across the country have offered. Again, I'm going to say Anastasia Palaszczuk offered all of these sites. The federal government said, no, we don't need them. Well, now we do need them for stranded Australians. I think it's disgusting.
I think it's disgusting to say the PM of this country has blood on his hands. I don't care what side of politics you fall on. I don't care which way you voted. But you don't say things like that when you are a high-profile candidate. It's different if someone mouths off on Twitter, but this is a high-profile sports person, and the moment he says, you've got blood on your hands, Prime Minister, that becomes a headline. And it is absolutely outrageous for him to do that because he wants special preferential treatment to get home. And that's an abuse of power. And so he wants to be able to get into this country and, as Ange said, could lead to deaths. And would he accept that he's got blood on his hands if he passes this virus, this additional strain of the virus onto somebody. I think it's outrageous, Robbo. And of course we want to be able to bring Australians home. We are in a pandemic. The rules are out the window and we need to do what our leaders think are the right things. The government has just called for 2 weeks where they can get everything together, get people through the quarantine system and then bring people home. Well, it's not 6 months, it's not a year, it's 12 days.
The quarantine system is broken. They won't look at any other areas. They know that it's airborne through air conditioning. They won't change it. They know that they've got these sites around Australia. They won't do it. No, well, hold on, Rob. Like, you can't have your big rant and then not let me respond to it. I just don't agree with you. There should have been, policies in place way before now. This, to me, just strikes as hoping to strike a chord with the base. It didn't work. So now we've got Scott Morrison saying, oh, well, no, we were never going to actually do it. So why say it? He pulled back because the electorate didn't jump up, apart from present company, people didn't jump up and say it was a wonderful policy. Overall, it was condemned, so much so, and Scotty loves the marketing and Scotty loves to get praise and loves to make an announcement. He's then pulled back and said, oh, well, we're never going to do it.
All right, I think we've all had to go on that one. Let's move on. Because Triple J is in trouble after revealing how to commit insurance fraud during a segment where they were speaking to a caller. Lewis Hobber and Michael Hing spoke to Darren, or caller named Darren, about how he left his tools on site over the weekend and they were stolen and then smashed in his car window so he could claim them on insurance. The hosts stressed it was insurance fraud but were laughing throughout the phone call. Another listener, identified as Todd, called in to outline how he helped a friend with fraudulent workers' compensation claim. Robbo, funny or irresponsible?
That's a fun question. Is it irresponsible? Yeah, probably to give it airtime. Do we break down every crime that happens in the world? Yes, true crime is a huge market. You dabble in it in yourself. You break down crimes. You break down how people murder people. So how is this really any different? In fact, this is a more tamer version and a more palatable version of exactly what true crime podcasts do around the world every single day. And they're really popular. They break down the crime. So the murderer did this to not get caught, but he did this, and then we caught him, and then it did this. How is it any different? It's no different at all. This is more palatable than hearing how you can get away with murder.
Well, for that, go to Monsters Who Murder Serial Killer Confessions with the Serial Killer Whisperer.
I would have been so unhappy if you didn't take that bait and say that whole title, because you know I love the whole title.
It's a great title. I'm actually going to rebrand it as The Serial Killer Whisperer Presents Monsters Who Murder Serial Killer Confessions.
Yes!
True story.
I want to hear that. No, I love that. I'm all on board with that.
Yeah, catchier than COVID, Rob.
And that's what I love. Can I just take a moment? That's what I love about this show. Robbo and I can be going at it one moment and then having a laugh at the next. That's what I truly love about this team and this show, even when Robbo's wrong. But anyway, I digress.
I was waiting for that. Jeez, I was waiting for that. I won't say a thing, because surely at the end of this, it'll be something about me being wrong, and I loved it. Bless you.
Ange, I got to say, I agree with Robbo. You know, like, I remember when radio stations, I think it was in the 90s, I want to say, started broadcasting where speed traps were and the police went off, oh, how dare you, how you dare you. You know, and I always thought it was funny because aren't they meant to be deterrents? And yet here you are saying, well, we don't want you to reveal the locations because we can't get people speeding and we can't find them. This is sort of the same thing, isn't it? Like, no, people listening aren't actually going to commit insurance fraud. You're either that kind of person or you're not. I did like hearing the stories. I found that funny.
I don't know. I mean, the strange thing is that, you know, how much I can't stand the whole, you know, somebody says something in the media and then there's like everybody's wringing their hands and, you know, sort of, you know, praying to the Lord. Oh my God, how did we get here? What's happened to society? But the thing is, I actually really do like Hobbit and Hing normally. I find them very entertaining while I'm on the afternoon school run. But, you know, and I did listen to this at the time. And I thought, I'm not sure their producers properly thought through that topic, not least because, people calling in could now be, being investigated. Looking at, to get serious, like insurance fraud does cost millions and sometimes hundreds of millions a year. And I feel like it is people like those who called in who are complicit in taking money away from legitimate claims. And I mean, we all know how just gut-wrenchingly difficult it is anyway, just getting insurance companies to cough up $1. And, it's people like this who invent claims that make it just so much worse for everyone else. And it is theft, and I don't find theft funny. And the segment did come across as a bit of a masterclass in how to screw the system over. Okay. And they were totally unapologetic. And I just thought, I don't think anything good is going to come from this.
Yeah, well, you were right. Your investigative nose was on the money. I do take your point, and I don't agree with the idea of robbing from anyone or theft, but, sometimes comedy is comedy. Let's move on, because the Colosseum will soon be undergoing an exciting renovation, with the Culture Minister of Italy announcing plans to create a rotating floor. The previous floor was removed by archaeologists to showcase the rooms and corridors below the arena. With the new plans, visitors will be able to walk on the floor and go to the centre of the arena, giving a unique view that was once experienced by gladiators. The project is aimed to be completed by 2023. My greatest regret in life, Ange, not greatest, I've got many regrets, but I have been to the Colosseum, but never in the Colosseum. I was in Italy and I looked at it from the outside and looked in, and my schedule just didn't work out and I didn't get to go in, and I was like, oh.
Oh, no, that's so sad.
I'm waiting for you to say you've been there like 10 times.
I actually haven't. I haven't been to Rome. I've been to other places in Italy, but I have never been to Rome.
Oh, you simply must do Rome. It's wonderful.
I know. When I finish my trip on the Riviera this summer, but what they're going to do, I think, with this new plan is absolutely tremendous. Yeah. I just don't get how they're going to do it for $16 million, because won't it cost that alone in protection money?
I thought the same thing. When I saw the price tag, I'm thinking, I've looked at it. I don't know how to renovate, but I know that that's a renovator's dream, and that's going to cost a lot more than $22 million, I think, was the Australian conversion or something.
I'm confused
but
about this.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry, Robert. I'm really intrigued by it. The rotating floor, it's just literally going to be the whole arena going around, so you don't have to walk. Isn't that absolute laziness when you don't even have to walk the arena and you go on a big ride?
What I hope is that it's respectful. So I hope that if that's the way that people can see the most part of it without touching it, or without touching it, without wrecking it, if there is a way, and that's what I hope. I agree with Ange. I worry that the money that's being put up would surely not be enough to take, to renovate it, to create an experience that's going to allow people to see what they're going to pay a lot of money for, but also to protect it for future endeavours.
Yes.
I just really hope that it's bloody done properly, because we just don't want to lose it. I think that would be amazing to see places, that only either archaeologists have seen or the gladiators who originally competed there. What I love about this, though, is it's showbiz. I love showbiz. This place is showbiz. They were able to obviously do your gladiator fights, do your animal hunts,
but then Robert. They could look down.
They could
look at the super. No, go back, Jazz. This is what my daughter picked for a super, Robert. She's not even 15 yet.
Exactly what Jason was talking about. But what I was saying, it's absolute showbiz. These people who I love were able to then transfer it and put water into it so they could recreate sea battles. This is the original dinner and a show, and I think that we should protect it in the best way we can. But this is showbiz. This is Hollywood. I love it.
I know. I love it. I just think of all of the amazing things that you're going to be able to do in that space when it's done. You could put on these huge MMA fights, because I, for one, demand reparations for Conorus McGregorus of Dublinium.
That's not where I was thinking you were about to say operas and everything. I was like, and then you went like MMA.
No, fight.
What? Yeah, kill the bastard. I'm not happy until some bastard dies. And then I'll walk through your museum.
Happens every night on this show when I tell a joke. All right, let's move on. Because while being famous certainly has its perks, should it mean celebrities get special treatment in everyday situations? Actress Gwyneth Paltrow took a visit to the DMV, or Department of Motor Vehicles in the US, but instead of queuing in the line of 50 outside, she was snuck in through a back door, jumping the line while others waited out in the sun. She was said to have finished and left within 30 minutes of arriving after being sped through. Robbo, no one likes to wait in line at a government service centre. Should celebrities have to wait like the rest of us?
Well, this is a very complex question, Rob, because if you're asking me, if I could jump a queue or something, then absolutely I would jump a queue. But I'm a man of the people. I'm the people's prince. And I think that this is absolutely abhorrent. I think that this woman who complains about being a celebrity and, you get treated differently and that's not really real life. She talks about this on the Graham Norton show, which was just so lovely. And I hope that helped her sell candles that smell like her vagina or her orgasm, whatever she sells on that awful fucking website. Oh, sorry. Awful website. Sorry, I got a bit ranty there. Don't put that up, Jazz. Leave that out. Look, I don't like this at all, especially when it's... So we're not talking about a movie star. Like Tom Cruise is a movie star. He makes no apologies for it. That's what he is. When you get someone who likes to give these little podcasts or these little interviews on chat shows saying, being famous is like really bad because you get treated differently and that's just not the real world and blah, blah. But then go, bloody hell, I've got to do my driver's license. Can we make a few phone calls, because I don't want with the plebs. This is ridiculous. Get over it. And she should never have won the Academy Award in 1998 for Shakespeare in Love. It should have gone to Kate Blanchett.
Absolutely true.
All right, we're going down the rabbit hole. And what do you think?
Well, I was brought up according to the law of the age-old acronym RHIP. Rank has its privileges, and that is the case here. Gwyneth Paltrow is a massive celebrity. Of course, she can't be expected to hang around in the alleyway marinating in the putreficence of the plebeians. Plus, it's a huge security issue if she were to do that. Say she was mobbed or stabbed or something, which is not outside the realms of possibility because people still really hate that ghastly pink frock she wore when she won the Oscar. Not to mention, don't even get me started on conscious uncoupling. Like, she's maybe ripe for a stabbing. So, but the thing is, she hauled ass down there herself, not making them come to her chateau. Can you imagine Mariah Carey doing that? I think not.
I've got to say, I agree. There is nothing wrong with this. Can you imagine Gwyneth sitting down, waiting for her... She's got a little slip of paper, D42, sitting there, waiting to go in, and Gladys is coming up to her saying, dear, I saw you in that movie, my daughter, and just talking to her for half an hour. I don't know. I think celebrity has its privileges, and why not? If we were all celebrities, we would love the privileges that came along with it.
And we made them the celebrities. So you can't whine about it now.
But... the fact is...
Weirdly, though, Rob, the voice you used was an old woman talking about the movie that she was in. That's right, because it's been a long time since she was in a bloody movie. And maybe
she was in the Marvel
if
movies.
she was... I've never seen it. I don't know what you're talking about. I won't respond to it.
Only one of the biggest movies of all time, but that's fine.
She had a bit part, whatever. But the thing is, if she laid out there, I can't remember your wonderful wordsmith words there, Angela Rao, but I reckon if she based it out there and marinated, she'd get a whole new scent for a candle.
Research.
She'd call it the DMV
people.
V. The DMVV. The DMVV. That's not bad.
What? Oh God.
Because she's at the DMV and she makes things about her candle.
Yes.
No, she makes
got it.
candles about her thing.
I got it. Yeah.
So DMV, because
I don't know
We'll talk
if
off
the
air.
Department of Motor Vaginas exists.
I'll tell you right now,
Maybe
I'm
it
not
should.
applying for a license at that place
Hey,
right now.
okay.
No way in the world.
Guys, we are. There's going to be something a little bit different tonight because Jason Roses has pulled the pin. He's not coming in tonight.
Oh,
So
What, a celebrity
he's trying to
tantrum?
do entertainment. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
You mean I get to do news, views, and entertainment too, just like the song?
Yeah.
You certainly do. So, Ange, tell me, can you give me any sizzle about what's coming up?
No. Next.
All right. Anjali Rao, look at that face because very shortly she will be doing the entertainment report.
Allegedly.
Well, having sold 400 million records between them, Elvis Presley and the Beatles are two of the most legendary musical acts of all time. And this weekend, a special show will celebrate the legacy of them both. Mark Anthony is one of the best Elvis tribute performers in the world, and John Cater is one member of the highly renowned Beatle Boys. And they both join us now. Boys, welcome to the Ange, Rob and Robbo show. I've got to say, this sounds like such an exciting show. Mark, is there a song by Elvis that really gets the audience going?
Yeah, I'd have to say there are a few. There's quite a few. It's always up-tempo ones, though. Burning Love, Suspicious Minds, that always gets them on their feet. Suspicious Minds every time.
Does it ever get the knickers removed and they throw them at you a bit like Tom Jones?
Yeah, sometimes the drummer ends up with them all. I don't know how that happens, but he does.
I've always wondered, when someone goes to a concert, do they take the knickers they've got off or do they bring a pair they've thought of earlier?
Well, thankfully, every time I've happened to receive a pair, they were brought to the show. So, whether they were worn earlier, I still don't know, but they were brought in a bag.
Fair enough. John, what is it about the Beatles' music that makes them so timeless?
What makes them timeless? Well, I think for starters, I think they were around the time when a lot of new things were happening, like studio experimentation and just an alignment of things, where Elvis was, off to war and a lot of people were kind of flaying from the 50s and there was a new time for something to happen. And their songwriting was amazing, and they just paved new ground, and they made their way through. They had their roots in rock and roll, but they really branched out and explored, and especially with the studio, it made them find new things. So yeah, it was timeless in that sense, where it kind of broke away from the traditional way of writing music.
And what is it like to play such an iconic band? People know they love the Beatles, and this is the same with Elvis. What is the kind of feeling you get from the audience?
Yeah, well, I know that I do. I treat it like I'm just another fan in the room. It's the only way I can sort of get myself, grounded and just do the job. And when you show the enthusiasm for the music, they see that. And I'm just another guy in the room that's just lucky enough to play the stuff, And so that's how I take it.
I love that. Mark, you've had great success with your shows. You were even endorsed by Elvis Presley Enterprises and Graceland USA. There's a lot involved with that to get that kind of certification. What makes you stand out from the crowd? Because there are a lot of people who like to do a bit of Elvis.
Well, yeah, that's right. There are a lot of people that like to do Elvis, but getting the recognition from Graceland and Elvis Presley Enterprises, it was just something that came out of the blue from them to myself. I'd been working for them and with them for many years. From about 2008, I was on every one of their Elvis Presley cruises. We used to cruise around Mexico or the Bahamas. It was really, really cool.
Oh, wow.
And we did that until about every year until 2012 was the final one they did. And And just eventually they sent me an email. I would have preferred it in the old-fashioned letter in the post, but I had this email come in one day, and it was from the people that I know them by name at Elvis Presley Enterprises, and opened it up, and it read there that thank you for your ongoing work, and we like to acknowledge that you are one of the top acts in the world at the moment. So it was really nice to get that from them, and I didn't have to worry about trying to prove myself much more after that.
No, absolutely. And I'll be honest, there was a scene back there, and I looked down at the monitor, and I thought we were running archival vision of Elvis. In completely honest, I thought it was Elvis, and then I looked again and realised, oh no, it's Mark. That's how good you are, Mark. So congratulations. I think you guys do a fabulous job, and what I love, you're two bloody nice blokes. Well, you can catch this special show, Elvis and the Beatles, live in concert at the State Theatre in Sydney this Saturday, the 8th of May. What a great Mother's Day Eve present. There are two shows because one was simply not enough. Just head to thestatetheatre.com for tickets. Mark and John, thank you so much for being on the Ange, Rob and Robbo show.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Robbie, for having us.
Well, a pleasure. Robbo, have you ever had any knickers thrown at you?
I think I have. I was lucky enough to go to the Elvis Parks Festival, and I was part of the parade. And there was something thrown at me, and I'm still taking penicillin for it. So I guess it was very, very bloody healthy. I liked how Elvis man there was like, oh, I think they brought them a bag. I don't know if they were worn. That's the next. That's the next Gwyneth Paltrow bloody scent candle. Elvis Undies concert or something.
Oh yes, but seriously, I've got to say, those guys seem like really nice guys, and it looks like a lot of fun. If I was in Sydney this weekend, I would be going. I think it was at thestatetheatre.com.au. You can get your tickets. I reckon that one would be well worth it. Anyway, they seem like good guys, Mark and John. So go and check them out. Hey, lots still to come. We're going to meet the young Aussie. Well, not so young, but he's playing a younger version of The Rock, and we're going to meet him very, very soon. But first, let's go to Ange for the latest news headlines.
Indeed, Rob. Checking out the other stories making news on this Tuesday, May the 4th be with you, 2021. A New South Wales police officer has been charged after allegedly assaulting an Indigenous teenager during an arrest in inner Sydney almost a year ago. Video of the incident in a Surrey Hills park was posted on social media last June, showing the officer performing a leg sweep on the 17-year-old and holding him to the ground. The teen was taken to hospital with minor injuries and released without charge. Following charges of assault occasioning actual bodily harm and common assault, the constable's employment status is under review. The state's police commissioner noted the officer in question has a clean record and at the time of the alleged offence was having a bad day. The next generation of COVID vaccine development could come as a pill or a nasal spray and be easier to store and transport than the current handful of shots that underpin the global vaccination effort. The newer vaccines from US government labs and companies also have the potential to provide longer-lasting immune responses and may be more potent against newer viral variants, possibly helping to head off future pandemics. However, many of the next-gen vaccines are in the early to middle phase of human testing, which means they may not become available till 2022, and there is no guarantee they'll succeed in testing, as some of the companies developing them have never brought a vaccine to market. Australia's interest rates will remain at the historic low level of 0.1% as the nation's central bank reserves its hand to lift rates in the wake of record house price growth. The Reserve Bank of Australia met today, choosing to maintain the current cash rate despite record new levels of home loan commitments and exploding property prices. RBA Governor Philip Lowe indicated late last year that the central bank had forecast to keep rates at 1% for a target of 3 years, instead preferring other economic measures to boost spending. Now that Bill and Melinda Gates have filed for divorce after 27 years of marriage, questions are turning to how their squillions will be split. The 65-year-old Microsoft founder is the world's fourth wealthiest person with a net worth of $168 billion. It's emerged he and his wife never had a prenup, but they're seeking to divide joint assets, which include a custom mansion worth $170 million. What is known is that their 3 children will only inherit a mere pittance of their parents' unfathomable fortune at $10 million each. What a pair of skinflints. And did someone say drive-roo bottle-o? Well, they did when a trio of kangaroos took a detour through this Sussex bottle shop on the New South Wales coast, presumably looking for something to quench their thirst after a long, hard day on their feet. The gang seemed very at home in the human environment, despite none of them looking old enough to carry a valid ID. Word has it, they bounded off with a sixer of Crownies. Extra hops, folks. And getting a check of tomorrow's weather now. Sunny in Cairns and 30. Showers and a possible storm for Brisbane in 23. Showers for Sydney in 22. Showers also for Canberra in 18. Partly cloudy in Melbourne and 17. The same for Hobart, also with a high of 17. Mostly sunny in Adelaide and 19. Showers and a possible storm for Perth in 23. Mostly sunny in Alice Springs hitting 25. And the sun will be out in Darwin as well, a top temp of 34.
Isn't it sad to see a child actor hitting at rock bottom? Skippy there in the bottle-o. He's fallen on hard times. It is really sad. We've seen another one fall. Thoughts and prayers for Skippy.
I know. Yeah, next week it'll be Blinky Bill.
I had no idea where you were going then, and I loved it. I loved it. You genuinely surprised me. All right. Well, Angie's entertainment report is just around the corner, but first, he is one of the most well-beloved actors in the world. I'm going to start that again. He is one of the most beloved actors in the world, and now we are getting a look at Dwayne Johnson's younger years and how he became The Rock.
Every hero has an origin story, but not a full mustache at age 15. It's The Rock's true life story.
What's your name again?
Tomas. Why'd you say your name was Tomas? Because it sounds way cooler than Dwayne.
From then to now.
Things change just like that. When you dream big, the sky's the limit.
I'll have your finest tequila.
No.
Fine, I'll have a vodka martini.
No.
Uli Latekefu is the Aussie actor who plays The Rock from years 18 to 20, and he's with us now. Uli, welcome to the Ange, Rob and Robbo show.
Hey, Rob, thanks for having me, brother.
Mate, I love this show. I've only seen 2 episodes. I will be up front, but it's a really wholesome, fun show. It's a little bit daggy, but it's so much fun. What is it like playing Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock?
It's incredible. He has, one of the things that a lot of people are already aware of is just how open he is about his struggles, and I think that's probably one of the things that I really quite enjoyed exploring is what really makes who he is and what has driven him to be where he is at this point in his life. So it's been awesome, a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of laughs, and in good company.
Well, you actually get to play The Rock in some pretty pivotal years going through college, the start of his career as an athlete. We just saw a graphic there. Did you see much of yourself in him?
Yes and no. More so the experiences. We share similar experiences. I grew up playing rugby union in Australia, and similar story, dislocated my shoulder and broke part of my shoulder socket. So I couldn't afford surgery coming out of high school, so I gave up the game completely and just tried to find something else. So a lot of those experiences were shared, and I could definitely relate to that. Physically, yeah, in parts.
I have to tell you, when I see some of those scenes, you must think you're looking in a mirror when you look at me. We're very physically the same. We're both Australian.
Yes.
No?
Incredible. I thought I was talking to myself for a second.
No, but I have to say, how hard is it playing someone so famous?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I really wanted to do was leave that a little bit, and try and peel back the layers of the fame and all his accolades and all that sort of thing, because really, and which was great, because he is so open about his life and so down to earth. When you speak to him one-on-one, we had a Zoom meeting shortly after I was casted, and I got to really talk to him as Dwayne, more so than the actor, the businessman, and through that, I got to see the man, and that's ultimately what audiences want to see is what relates to them and their own experiences and their own struggles and their own pursuits to whatever goals they have.
So you've had the Zoom meeting. Have you had much to do with him since then?
A little bit, but he's an incredibly busy man, and we've all, once things have finished shooting, we pretty much have to go on to the next thing.
Now, this is a major series being made for the US. I have to ask, what does this do for your career in terms of just getting out there? You're an actor. You've done a lot of good stuff in Australia, but this is a big leap, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. It's. I'm incredibly grateful. You couldn't have. If you told me, that old thing. If you told me, years ago I would be playing The Rock, I wouldn't believe you. And it's hard to say where exactly this takes me, because you never know. But I'm definitely excited.
It's interesting. You're 36 years old. You're playing an 18 to 21-year-old. And when I watch that series, you pull it off. I'm believing it. I'm invested.
Well, that's a good thing. Thankfully.
I don't know what tricks you're using to make yourself look so young. Maybe it's just a healthy lifestyle. I don't know. But it's interesting because you're also a dad. And so, you've got your beautiful little daughter. Is she excited about what Dad does for a living?
She is. She really, I brought her ever since she was maybe 2 years old, actually. I brought her onto the set of Dr. Doctor. I was shooting for Channel 9.
Great Aussie series?
The Australian series. And I've always tried to bring her to my workplace because it's a place that I think I just want her to feel that she has a place and the opportunity is real for her. I'm of Pacific Island background. I'm of Tongan heritage, and there aren't many Pacific Islanders in film and TV. And for a young Polynesian girl, I think it's important for her to see that she has a place in that space.
Oh, great. And your next project coming out is in Taika Waititi's film Next Goal Wins. And this has got some amazing actors like Michael Fassbender, Elizabeth Moss. What's it like working with someone like Taika, who is at the top of his game at the moment?
Yeah, it's great. I've worked with Michael before on Young Rock, not on Young Rock. But, we did Alien Covenant for Ridley Scott together, and we actually kept in touch during that time. And so when we got to work together with Taika, it was pretty incredible. But yeah, that's still, in the editing room and final touches. The thing with Taika is he's incredibly. Jojo Rabbit is a testament to his. To his skill and his craftsmanship. So that's still in the works, finishing off.
Look, I like nice people, and you seem like a really nice bloke. You're getting a lot of success, and I really admire that. And this series, genuinely, I never say this unless it's true, I genuinely liked Young Rock. It's going to be weekly on Sundays at 6:30 p.m. on Fox 8 and on Foxtel On Demand, or you can even stream it on Binge. This is a great series. This is one you can watch with the family. You can enjoy the roller coaster ride of emotions. I think you do a fantastic job on this. I'm really not trying to piss in your pocket. This is a great show. I encourage everyone to go and have a look at it. Thanks for being with us on the Ange, Rob and Robbo Show.
No worries, Rob. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's the Random Life Shot of the Day. Where are you going today? You never know where you'll end up with the Random Life Shot of the Day.
Sorry, I'll just quickly do a forecast for the Sunshine Coast Bureau of the Ange, Rob and Robbo Show. It is hot and sweaty after speaking to Ulai there. Oh my goodness gracious me!
And there's a copyright claim.
Oh.
I know.
Worth of those comedy.
I wrote a message to both of you, but I didn't send it saying, whoa, I'm seriously crushing on this guy.
Well, I'm glad you didn't send it. I was trying to interview the guy and I got that director's name wrong. I can't ever say names. Taika. It's such an easy name to say. Anyway.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not interested in The Rock. I'm interested in the stone there. Yeah. Anyway, today we're going to take you to somewhere else that's not as hot, but it's Basilica of San Francesco in Assisi, Italy. The beautiful building is the mother church of the Roman Catholic Order of Friars Minor Convertitelli in Assisi, a town in the Umbria region in central Italy where St. Francis was born and died. It's going to be a partly cloudy day with a low of 11 degrees and a high of 18 degrees. Let's get some feedback here on Ange, Rob and Robbo show. Janelle says, lovely evening all. Did Robbo get a fantastic deal on wonderful red shirt? Good colour for your... I'll tell you, you give me one compliment about something I'm wearing and it's here for the rest of the year. But I will need to get Mummy to clean that. Jason says, so what is your father paying you for your time, Ms. McKnight?
She gets to stay up late.
Or she gets to live in a house. She gets to eat the food.
She gets a roof over her head.
Yeah,
where did you get your paying your children attitude from? Bill Gates?
Yeah.
Only 10 million. What a tight bastard. Big Brother Oz says, will we get the $5 quiz back? Well, we can't say too much, Big Brother Oz, but there are some pretty big announcements. We're talking to Fremantle, we're talking to Grundy. Is Grundy still around?
I just want to confirm, Robert, you're going to sell Fremantle their own concept that you ripped off back, Sale of the Century.
Let's get to some other feedback now here on the Ange, Rob and Robbo show. And it's Gay Right. How does Robbo seemingly know so much about fajitas? I love Mexican. I just love Mexican, Gay Right. Put a little bit of salsa on my taco and I'll be very happy. If you want to share your feedback, just head to all of our social medias, either at the ARR Show or at ARR Show. Robbie, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Robbo. And to answer that question, well, Robbo is a traveller. He's visited from time to time.
No, I have. No.
Not sure.
Look, I have.
He has. I know for a fact he has.
Oh, no. I'm not a gold star, Gay. I'm the next one down from that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I don't know where
It's like
I worked on the wrong
It's like
bit.
when you go to a country sometimes and you go, you know what? This isn't for me. That was Robbo's experience.
But I still got my passport stamped, so no one can take that away from me.
No, don't do that. All right, it's time for a hit of entertainment. And tonight, it's the lovely Anjali Rao who's bringing us entertainment.
Woo!
And Ange, Craig McLaughlin.
No, I'm not doing it. I've changed my mind because where are my shooting stars that Jason has?
Yeah, that's true.
Hang on. Bear with us. Amanda just said, wait. Craig McLaughlin is speaking out after that lengthy legal battle.
That is correct, Rob.
Stars.
Hey, stars.
Oh my God, look, it's me and stars and Craig McLaughlin.
Now you've got to segue into a serious story.
I know, right? But, I do the light and shade, so... Rob, you're absolutely right. Craig McLaughlin is going to be appearing in a tell-all interview on Channel 7's Spotlight. You may remember that he was accused by 4 women of indecent assault during the run of Rocky Horror. Well, late last year, he was found not guilty of all charges, although the magistrate did say in her ruling that the women were likely not lying, but it was McLaughlin's, quote, egotistical, self-entitled sense of humour that led him to believe they wouldn't mind his behaviour. Well, this is not the end of the legal battles, however, as he pursues a defamation trial against The Age, Sydney Morning Herald and the ABC. And now 2 teasers have been released for his upcoming interview on 7. Let's have a look at the first one.
How you going? Been a while. Been a while since we last videoed anything together. Hope your lives are good. Treasure them, because they can be taken away. Like that.
Jesus.
Whoa, intense. It would appear so. Oh my God, what the hell? And then that was not the only one. There was another more recent one. Let's take a look at that.
You see, this is not just about a headline for the day, but this is ruining lives. Not just me. You want to crucify me? Fine. Look what it's done to my beautiful partner. Look what it continues to do to my family every day.
Blimey. Well, the air date on that one, folks, is yet to be announced, but it is going to be definitely one to watch, and we will be all over it, I should think.
I wanted to ask both of you on this one. So I had seen both of these promos. So I saw the first one. I think it's just a bad look. I think it... To me, he still looks guilty in that. That's my opinion. But the editing of it, we know he's been acquitted. And then the other one where he's got his partner... These, and I want to know your opinions, because I thought this when I first watched it. They're badly advised, ill-advised to say that these are promos for the show. What I want to see is, and Seven is I think right in getting Craig. He's no doubt, and Rob, you would know more, that he's possibly still on contract, maybe to a production company, but loosely to Seven. He's decided to stay with Seven because Seven got Dr. Blake before all this happened. This, to me, is incredibly ill-advised. He should say these things sitting down in a 60 Minutes kind of vibe, where he can talk straight to the camera. These kind of odd iPhone captured grab. I'm really interested in both in what you both have to say, because I think it misses the mark and misses the mark terribly.
I think this is appalling, and I agree. It makes him look guilty. I haven't seen these promos before, and the first one, he looks like some deranged criminal. And in the second one, he looks like he's using emotional blackmail on me, that how dare anybody talk about this case, because, look at what he's doing to his partner, and she's almost crying on cue. This is terrible from a PR point of view. And I've dealt with a lot of tricky situations. From a PR point of view, this has failed every basic test. I will obviously wait to pass judgment when we see the final show, but this is the first glimpse we get at it, and I think it is terrible for his brand. I've had a lot of sympathy for Craig McLachlan, because I feel he lost the Dr. Blake gig. When this all happened and allegations were made, Seven pulled the pin, and remember, they replaced him. They got rid of the title character from Dr. Blake. So, he has certainly suffered, if he is indeed innocent, as he's been found not guilty, shall we say. So here's the thing. That's fine. Talk about that. Talk about the impact. Talk about how hard it's been. But this looks like emotional blackmail. And I don't think it plays well at all. At all.
Not in the slightest. I mean, that second one is so clearly actory. It's just like, I mean, Paula Abdul couldn't have choreographed that more. It's crazy.
She would have done a better job. I know, Paula. Probably. She would have done a better job.
But I love Paula. But in the first one, that one really reminds me of, remember when, all the allegations came out about Kevin Spacey, and then he disappeared for a while, and like Craig McLachlan did. Yeah. And then when he re-emerged, he came back as, that creepy character from House of Cards. Yes. And it was like he was basically piss-taking what the victims had been through. That's kind of what it felt like a sort of a put-on caricature. I don't like it. It's just like, there's something of the night about the whole thing.
I think what we do have to think about here is that Craig McLachlan is obviously angry, and that's what we're seeing there. He has been found not guilty, but for his public persona, this doesn't do a lot for him. And can I just say, he's been in television for 3-4 decades. Do not shoot like this. Turn your phone like that. This is how you shoot video, people.
But I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but this also disappoints me from Seven Spotlighters have done in the past some great stories, and it's kind of in place, I guess, of Sunday Night. They got rid of that. This is kind of their feature platform. Whoever's making the decisions, I think, on these being the promos, that's the problem as well, I think. Seven has let themselves down, but maybe that's what they want him to do. Maybe Seven is Craig McLachlan, and he doesn't. I don't know.
You know what I will say? Final comment, if I may, Robbo.
Tears.
Maybe it's genius because we are so incensed about it. We're all talking about it. If it had just been soppy, it ruined my life. It
That's what worries me.
You know, we'd all be like, oh, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. This makes me want to watch Tick.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I hate myself, but yes.
All right, let's move on. Let's change gears. We're going to talk about Britney Spears now, Ange. We've talked before about the various documentaries, but Britney herself isn't so happy.
Yeah, not so much, Robbo. She came out on her Insta slamming the docos when she uploaded one of her now typical, very odd dancing videos with the caption, "These documentaries are so hypocritical. They criticize the media and then do the same thing. I've had way more amazing times in my life. And unfortunately, my friends, I think the world is more interested in the negative." Really? Why highlight the most negative and traumatizing times in my life from forever ago? Well, that's how the media works. But of course, the most famous of these was framing Britney Spears. And it attracted headlines and viewers right around the world, as we know. It got people really, really on board with the Free Britney movement. But from Britney's view, those in glass houses... Poor Britney.
Like, seriously,
this
kind of
she's not doing herself any favours.
Absolutely, her dad should be in charge of her life. What the hell is this? Oh my God, a documentary. It's focusing on the negative. Lie me down.
Yeah, and this is someone else who's been, in showbiz for decades as well. It's like, what? Are you for real? Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
How do you think that the Get Fit Quick mags get sold? It's not because of the positive feel-good stories. It's because of the skewering.
Absolutely.
And sorry, Britney, you're one of the most famous people in the world, and that's how it rolls.
Absolutely. Now, Ange, I've seen this story around today, but I haven't actually looked at it in depth. Someone on TikTok has apparently missed their shot with Ben Affleck. Tell me about this one.
Correct. This is absolutely true. It's a fab story, actually. And this person is now kicking herself. So she tells a story of how she matched with Ben Affleck on Raya, which is, as you know, pretty much the VIP celebrity version of Tinder. It's where famous people go to get it on with other famous people. Don't you have to be famous first? But
I'll need to be on it after that joke.
So then she unmatched him because she didn't believe that it was actually him, which he swiftly cleared up. I know, but he cleared it up super quick by sliding into her Insta DMs. I think we're running sound there, I think. Of what happened.
Good throw. What a pro. Roll the clip.
I did the throw. Literally did the throw. Nothing happened.
Thinking about so many things. I just wish things would get better. I'm trying to get rid of them, but nothing seems to
Naveen, why did you unmatch me? It's me.
Oh my God, creepy AF. Ben and his reps are yet to respond, but Raya has boasted some other A-list celebrities in the past, including Channing Tatum and Demi Lovato. I know, oh my God, that's so creepy. I literally need to go
you know what?
and
He was
have
trying to
a
be
bath
funny.
in bleach with a wire brush.
If he'd come on and said, whatever her name is, Leanne, it's me, Ben Affleck. Like in the Batman voice, that could have been funny. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to be funny and say, honey, really was Ben Affleck. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, but this woman's got form. If you've said that she's done this to other people, she's just out to... Yeah, and I believe that her lips are actually sponsored by Bridgestone tyres, which is fantastic.
She's got more rubber in those lips than you've got on all the tyres put together.
Blimey.
Well, you put yourself out there.
I'm leaving on that one.
You sit right down.
Now, Ange, we love Stevie Wonder on this show, and if you're a regular viewer, you'll know that Rob doesn't believe all
He's
that
not
Stevie
blind.
Wonder puts out there. Yep, okay. That's what I was waiting for. I was hoping to get through the intro before I heard that. But this is actually a really nice one. See, we're a double act. We're a double act here. He's upgraded himself from the wheel. He's now Bert. And I'm Don.
I don't want to hear about you and Rob double teaming, please.
It's only on each other. And it's only when we're watching our own show reels. It's when we're watching our own show reels. That's
It's after a few champagnes.
Yeah.
But this is actually a really nice one. He has had a very special opportunity. Ange, please. Sorry.
Yes, he has indeed. And as you say, it is despite Rob not believing that Stevie Wonder actually is blind, because he's not been able to get behind the wheel of a car until now, when he was photographed testing out the autopilot function in a Tesla.
I knew it!
I know. No, come on. Look, it still isn't legal for him to drive. Because he's blind.
He's not
So,
blind.
Apparently, they didn't move very far in it. They didn't. They hardly went anywhere. But it was still a
Yeah, because they saw the paps and said,
nonetheless.
we're just joking at you again, Stevie. He was ready to drive. And if you don't believe Stevie Wonder isn't blind, Amanda, I've got this clip on standby all the time.
I knew you would.
Can we roll the
Yes.
Stevie Wonder? Now, before we roll this clip, watch Stevie
I'm getting a
and watch the
migraine.
microphone on the left hand, because a microphone falls. Stevie Wonder, who's blind, just goes, oh, there you go, chum. Roll the clip. There he is. Microphone falls. Stevie grabs it. There you go. Stevie's not blind. There it is again. Here he goes. The hand goes in. Oh, it's falling. I see that. I'll pick it up. There we go. Caught it. And Stevie's not blind.
No, yes, he is. He just has heightened senses because he's blind. So all of his other senses just like kick into action and fire off. That's how it works, Rob.
The guy's behind the wheel driving a car, Ange. What sense is he using for that? The power of sight! The power of sight! It has been the greatest scam of all time. He was a so-so musician, but the guy's blind. Oh, he's bloody brilliant. You know, like
He was a so-so musician. I can't follow you down that road. Holy crap!
No.
Oh my God. Sorry.
I did jump a bridge too far there, but I will say it was a great gimmick because everybody knows Stevie Wonder. Everyone knows he's blind. Everyone has that extra appreciation for his music, and this was the scam. Throw a ball at him and we'll know. If I'm ever in the same vicinity as Stevie Wonder, I will throw a tennis ball at him and he'll just go, didn't mean to catch it. Heightened senses. My ears picked up on the vibrations.
Before you do that, can
Yes,
we make sure that we
don't
change the
throw
name of this
things at
show
blind people.
just to the Ange and Robbo show, so we can not say we know anything about this? We'll play the clip.
Stevie Wonder is not blind. Roll the clip again, Amanda. Look at this footage.
No.
If you don't believe
Oh my God.
me.
Stop it.
There he goes. Pick that microphone up for me, Stevie.
I didn't even think that was his hand.
Oh my God, Ange! I swear to God, Oh my God, you'd be
I agree
Melissa
with you,
on
Ange.
Married at First Sight.
No,
You're like
Ange, I agree with Ange. It wasn't his hand.
I
said
don't even know what
I
that
said that when we
means, Rob.
first played it. Yeah, no, neither do I. That's why I was trying to help you.
What was that?
It was the guy next
Thanks,
to him
Robbo.
who caught the mic.
That's
Gay
what
Right
I
said that.
thought.
I thought the first time. Yeah, we've all thought this before.
Yes,
This is the
exactly.
biggest
Please don't play.
well-known secret in the music business. I'm telling you, I've heard stories from people who have witnessed him be able to find things. I can't describe that
It's
anymore.
his
It's litigious.
heightened senses.
Anyway, tomorrow, another big show with the return of Jason, hopefully. We will see you tomorrow as we stream live around the globe. Thanks, Ange. Thanks, Robbo. We'll see you tomorrow on the Ange, Rob and Robbo show. Bye-bye.
It's the Ange, Rob, and Robbo, Ange, Rob, and Robbo.